Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how they will always pretend to play stupid. They will always tend to play as if they are uninformed, as if they do not know. A wise man could play a fool, but a fool can never play a wise man. And when you repeat this word phrase in your inner space, it will be a prime example of when you process somebody who is unaware pretending to be aware of something, and the information, the words they choose to use, their actions, it never correlates with the message that they're actually trying to send. There is a lot of people out here pretending to be stupid, pretending to be uninformed. They can study you. They can know everything about you. They can know more than 50% about you. You know what I mean? And they will still communicate with you as if they are unaware or they have no understanding. But turn around and let it be a different subject, and these people are acting as if they are God and they have all the answers and information. The day and age we in right now, you will face a lot of beings in this vibration. And I'm one of them people that, even though I may open the doors for people, I'm never stupid, dumb, or naive. Never, ever, 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 ever. Even if they tend to believe that their magic or their word spells is working on me. See, when you've been tapped into this light and this life for a long time, all the pretenders, all the fakes, they stand out like sore thumbs. Because in my spiritual realm, I keep my grass cut. All of us need to be doing this. Keeping your grass cut spiritually. It's easier to see the snakes. Why you think they not playing soccer on a grass or a field like this and the grass is taller or higher? Because it makes it less livable for certain animals and creatures. There's a lot happening, and it also makes them extremely visible. So what's going to happen, and what's been happening during this transition, is we got a lot of beings who are not connected to any religion, right? I'm not connected to any religion. I was raised a Christian, Baptist church, blah, 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 blah. Everybody that's been watching me, I've heard this a million times, right? And one thing you understand and you realize about religion outside of, it's trying to connect you with source, and if you look on the weird side, it's a form of control, right? But when you look at the overall recipe that's utilized, there is more benefits from whatever religion you take than there would be disadvantages that you would actually get to being in one of these, right? And I say this to say, we have a lot of beings out here in today's society who don't want to claim a religion, which is cool. I don't. But it leaves this whole open space for a lot of these witches and warlords to kind of operate and work their magic. When you've been doing this for a while, you'll realize that their magic spells do not work the same on you. There's going to be plenty of people coming into our lives that either, for me, see me up here, because I put myself out here to the world. They see me up here, they see y'all out here at these locations, they see us in different places and spaces. They've already tried to tap in with our vibration before they decided to reach out. So they kind of got an idea of the frequencies we like to operate on. But people still will come around and play dumb and use their little manipulation tactics as if, like, you don't see what they're doing. It's like somebody intentionally walking over to you, knocking your drink down, turning their back, and then turning back to you having a conversation as if they wasn't the ones that just spilled your drink and you literally just saw them knock the drink down. And you know what their response will be to that? Oh, I'm sorry. I've done talked about this on numerous of episodes. Like, that shit sorry is overly used. Like, I don't care for hearing sorry. Sorries do absolutely not a thing. Sorries is another way to mask their nasty, disgusting behaviors that they do. You know, it's putting a lot of us in a space of where if you're not strong enough, you're not opening half as many doors as you used to before. And if you are strong enough, you've minimized. Say you used to let 10 people in, now you done minimized it to about 2 to 3 people you let in, either every 3 to 6 months or every year, every 2-3 years. You know, it's the windows are getting extremely smaller. Sometimes it be hard for me to, like, I ain't gonna say that. It's only 2 boxes that these people go into. Either they are this fucking retarded, slow, or they are just this demonic and evil and ill-intended. It's only these 2 categories that these beings can go in. Because there's too much information out here to say that, oh, they split it. You know, they wasn't, you know, super witchy right over here, but then it also they wasn't super slow and retarded. Well, the middle ground for that is even worse. So it only could be those 2 things. The way I walk my life, I be experimenting and testing beings in real lifetime. Like, you know how some people like to go outside and pick up rocks and sticks and collect them? I like to tap in with different vibrations to see what I could learn. Oh, that looks like an interesting vibration. Let me go take a peek over there and see what's going on. Oh, this one is knocking at my door. Seems like an interesting vibration. Let me check this interesting vibration out. The same way we learn about, oh, this is that kind of rock. This is this kind of rock. You can do that with that kind of rock. You know, you can do this with these kind of trees. You can do that with those kind of trees. The same way it is with people out here. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we're in a day and age of information. So you can no longer allow people to keep playing you like you stupid, dumb, or retarded. Or like you're a doormat and they can just walk all over top of you. They jumping all over top of you. They skipping all over top of you. Because a lot of beings are not recovering from that because you already got the system. You got other things working on you from there. So once they put that finishing touch of their witchcraft on top of you, we've seen a handful of people that shouldn't have left this realm early exit out early. You know what I mean? To me, I think the weirdest thing right now is me being in the space that I'm in. I only been in this space as far as publicly for about 2-3 years, you know, with this right here, which is still a decent amount of time, but it's long enough that, you know, you can check out some of my digital footprint that's out here. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I kind of like his energy, let me check him out. Or, oh, I don't like his energy, or let me see what it is I don't like. And it's enough out there that you can tap in and be like, oh, all right, I vibe with him. All right, I don't vibe with him. I'm going to stay over here on this side. But it's still weird to me when I got witches that come knocking at my door as if they're trying to learn. They have a bunch of questions in the beginning via phone, you know, but then if the engagements are too long, then it becomes, now they're seeing how much of their witchery they can push across to me, you know. And I know that's part of my chapters and my journeys that I'm in right now, because I am in a learning space right now. So I cannot learn the things that I want to learn or how I want to learn them if I'm not engaging with other people, because I don't do evil intended stuff to myself, even though I may sabotage certain areas of my life just because it be a lot going on sometimes. And you gotta pick your poisons out here. There's so much poisons out here. You know what I mean? So long as you keep your health meter above that 50% marker, yeah, I know how I am. I'm big on percentages. Nothing is all or nothing. You know, it's on a percentage scale. So when I say that, I mean it's like, you know, my health is above that 70, 80, sitting around 90. It fluctuates between 70 and 90. You know, I still got that 10, 15, 20% because I was raised in this mess that we got out here. You know what I mean? But I be having beings that reach out, know what time it is with me, and they still pretend to be retarded. They still will use witchcraft and they demonic spells, you know. They will still be in a position where they don't ask any questions. And it's like, you're doing the same thing you did with the other witchy people that you dealt with over there. And it's like, that's not my vibration. And you trying to put it off on me, but now I got to take my sword out. I didn't want to have to chop you down, but now you making me chop you down. We chop trees down. We got animals that eat other animals to live and to survive. Look, I am very precise as far as like when people is working stuff on me and how I choose to respond and engage back with it. But when you've been tapped in with me for a while, you know, and that's the kind of space we come across, I'm going to assume you are a witch, because I don't assume that the beings over here is retarded. I don't assume that. I assume that anybody that's over here that happened to find me, because this isn't a dance channel. I don't be doing eating competitions, you know. This isn't, you know, pop the balloon or find love. It ain't none of that weird shit, you know what I mean? So I assume that most beings over this way is pretty knowledgeable, you know, and if they aren't as knowledgeable as they want to be, they're researching and learning, and they're putting themselves in a space to where they are more aware and in the knowing, you know. So when I had people come across my space and this was the medium that they met me through, then I'm gonna assume you're a witch. I wouldn't put myself in any other places of saying, oh, I don't know. Oh, they're confused. Oh, they made a mistake. We make mistakes, but it's a difference between making a mistake when you by yourself and then doing something when you got people around and you could ask questions. It's kind of like how I do my daughter sometimes. It's like, Lexi, you had me right here. You could have just asked me before you messed it up. I'll help you fix it, but you know, it's my mini. She knew, so I'm going to give her a little bit of leeway. These witches and warlords out here, you're not catching no leeway with me in them spaces. You know what I mean? You either fuck with me or you don't fuck with me. It's that simple. Trust me, my world doesn't stop when somebody says, oh, I don't like him, I'm not watching him anymore. I don't care. I don't care if people decide to get away from me in the real time, in the physical realm. That doesn't bother me high enough to affect the way, like, to stop me from making progress in my life. You know, I don't want to say that it doesn't affect me at all, because like I said before, everything is on a percentage scale. If I have to remove somebody that I was really vibing with because, you know, of the witchery that's happening, then yeah, it did affect me about 20%, 30%, but it wasn't nowhere near 50%. Some of them only affect me 5 to 10%. You know what I mean? But I'm not one of them people that act like, oh yeah, that don't affect me at all. The shit that don't bother me and don't affect me, trust me, it won't even get acknowledgement. It doesn't even get acknowledgement. So if we're acknowledging things, then we have to understand, okay, we put it on the scale, it affects us this much on our percentage scale. I done had a lot of these beings running and do this shit so much that I only got like a few more test trials and experiments before I slam that door shut and lock it the fuck up. Like, that's how bad and much witchery and sorcery is out here, you know. I do appreciate everybody that's been sending love and vibes, you know what I mean. That does more than, I couldn't even put words on how much love and light and vibration that I do receive from y'all and the chosen ones, and how much we project out into the universe. Because I be out here fighting for all kind of people in the spiritual realm, you know what I mean. So once I get the signs and I get the message, then I remove myself spiritually, but then my gang, my tribe that was with me in the spiritual realm, they pull back. You lose that extra protection that you would have had or that you did have. You know what I mean? Not gonna get into details, but small example, I had somebody who decided to pull up on me. Boom, we chilled and vibed. It was like this, you know, but they was over in my space, so I tried to be as appropriate as possible. But as soon as they left, before they left, I had to talk with them. But even when they left, I removed myself spiritually, and I removed my protectors spiritually. They just followed me. When I rode, they rode. Whether they was telling the truth or not, they called me back like 2-3 hours later, maybe even sooner than that. saying that they got pulled over and caught a speeding ticket. And it's like, I don't get speeding tickets. I drive 100 miles an hour, 70, whatever the speed limit is, best believe I'm going minimum 5 over, at least 10. I like to go 10 over because I be trying to go from point A to point B, and when you trying to calculate time, you know, some of these people out here be driving as if they ain't got no life, they ain't got nothing to do, nowhere to go, no plans, you know, everything just operates on their time and their flow. So, but I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, the situation came off as if they're very knowledgeable, they're knowing, you know, and they're trying to tell me things. And then it basically came down to, like, you wasted all this time learning about Egypt, slavery, you know, redlining, all this shit that we do kind of need to know. You wasted all this time learning these things when you should have been learning how to play and understand your role first here in this realm. I had to learn how to be a man. That's not something that you just keep growing each year, each day, you know, you just slowly, as you get older, then you're a man. No, you're a male. You're a male. A man is something that you grow into. You got to put a lot of work in to become a man. So understanding these things, I don't look at it no different from females. You have to put in a lot of work to become a woman. It's a lot of females out here that ain't make it to womanhood. They're still playing that dancing game, the witchery, because in Western society, they gave the females, not the women, they gave the females extra false sense of power. So now everything over here has been scrambled. You won't be able to find very many families out here that's operating together. You won't find very many females that's over a certain age. I want to say most of them like 15, 16, that's a virgin, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of things that you don't get anymore. And I keep seeing people talk about courting. I ain't courting nobody because it ain't worth a court. It may be worth a penny, but it ain't worth no court. Like, it's not, you don't get the same thing in return that they used to do for courting. When you was courting before, we didn't have to worry about paternity things because the woman was a virgin. So you knew if you did get that one, you didn't have to worry about if the child is yours. You know what I mean? Then you ain't have to worry about, oh, well, she could leave me and then take all my money and everything else that I got on the table. Or even if you're trying to build, that's the worst part, is if you're trying to build and then they're just pulling Jenga's pieces and Legos and blocks from underneath your feet while you're in the process of trying to do these things. From my experience and knowledge, from at least 70 to 80% of the females I engage with, non-sexual, some sexual, family members, I have hardly received any insight on any of them looking into what it means to be a woman. It's like that's something that it's like it almost feel painful, like when you say it, or if they have to think about doing it, it's almost like it hurts so bad that they don't want to look into it. Like why would it hurt to look into it? To challenge your own ideologies that you have on the table right now, if you're really trying to live a more higher vibrating frequency life. They don't even tap into it. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of sorcery out here, and then it's a lot of people being and playing, pretending to be dumb and retarded. Now I got male associates that I've been engaging with. They ain't really been too soft, you know, but they keep adding these little pebbles and crumbs into, you know, the ship that we got over here. So if I gotta hear you say my bad or I ain't mean to do that like 2-3 times a day, bruh, I'm gonna start to assume this shit is intentional. You ain't gonna be able to tell me my bad, bro, or I ain't mean to do that, bro, damn, I forgot. You're limited to how many times you get to bring those excuses to the table before I understand, okay, these words is just a masquerade to cover up, you know, the shit that they don't want to do, basically. Like, they're working on other stuff on their free time. I always love to see what people do with their free time. I love it. When I communicate and I engage with people and then we're building on something or it's conversations going back and forth, I like to see what they do, how our conversations are the next time we communicate and engage. 10 times out of 10, it's going to be damn near similar outside of what I've worked on and communicating and engaging with that being. As far as what I picked out of that conversation and decided to tap into and spiritually dive and travel to figure out some different answers and solutions, or whether I was actually in my computer or on the web diving in, figuring that kind of stuff out. You know what I mean? It's only two ways you gonna be able to ride this wave right here when they playing like that. They either fully demonic witches and warlords, or they are fucking retarded. I know some people, I had one person before tell me, oh, I don't like when you use retarded. See, to me, retarded is fully functioning, healthy beings who vibration, communication is way lower than what is perceived. So, it's kind of like if I started walking right now, every 2 feet, I start tripping, or I start stumbling. I'm like, damn, this nigga retarded. Like, he looked like a fully functioning, healthy being, but every 2 steps, he tripping over his laces. He's stumbling over his feet. I think I seen like him trip over a thin air. Like I guess the air was too thin. His feet didn't even touch or click. The nigga just and fell. You know what I mean? Like, y'all would be like, yo, he retarded. I'm not talking about people who have disorders. When I speak of like the health stuff, I call those disorders. You know, that's more. I compile that into a different segment because I understand that they've been worked on and their vessels was a little bit weaker and wasn't able to take all the chemicals that they feed us when we're first born, or even when you're in the womb. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that transpire in that space to kind of push those people into those spaces. That's not what I mean by retarded. I'm talking about the ones who are fully functioning and they come off like the people who have Down syndrome are way more intelligent than them. And I'm not saying that they're intelligent, like they're not intelligent at all. What I'm saying is we can look at society right now and we can see that, okay, if we put this guy over here in this space, we put this one over here in this space, and we just let things go, which ones would survive and operate better? You know what I mean? Not like, oh, they dumb and they don't have knowledge or understanding, because they are very emotionally intelligent. But it's a lot of that comes with us being packaged in this human body that's more than just that. You know what I mean? You got to be able to process. You got to be able to put the dots together. It's a whole lot that goes into what we have to do when we are in these vessels, you know. So I don't want people to kind of, if you do take it that way, I don't give a damn. But I don't do things with ill intentions. I just try to be as honest and straightforward as I possibly can in my walk of life and with the knowledge and information that I choose to share. You know what I mean? Because I choose to share this. But a lot of these people are not dumb or retarded. You know what I mean? I just want y'all to be aware of these things. They pretend to play dumb and retarded. But if they are these beings who, when you have different conversations about painting or plumbing or drawing or just art or whatever field y'all in, and they acting like they're extremely knowledgeable, but then once you go switch over to another subject, now they're gonna pretend to play the dumb thing. You know, they're gonna act like, oh, well, a lot more stumble and bumbling, and then it's gonna be a lot more words used. If you haven't realized, a lot of these beings, when they in those spaces, everything is always confusion. You know, I ask people straightforward questions, and then if they dance around and not answer the questions, I already know what type of time you are. I know you are not a straightforward being, because you couldn't even answer a straightforward question. I said, which one do you prefer, A or B? Well, sometimes when the moon aligns and the stars meet each other, I don't give a fuck about all of that. I asked you a simple question. Point A or point B? they not even working on their communication skills. That's what I be saying. Like, it's a lot that goes into this witchcraft that, for one, we taught and people do it naturally, and for two, a lot of beings are extremely aware of the witchcraft that they doing in the time that they are. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.